I'm from Toledo, Ohio, and if you've been paying attention to Reddit recently, it's the new home of the Toledo Christmas weed. As a Toledoan, I love weeds. When I was younger, I'd get mad at my mom for not watering the weeds, and later on in all my report cards, there's always be the same comment. Stop getting caught in the weeds. I would spend hours working out the tiniest details, but totally missing the main point of the project. I don't really know why I get lost in the weeds, but in the past 15 weeks, I've been able to see the flowers come out of the weeds. Week 1. Communication with groups. Team communication is important to prevent getting caught in the weeds. In the first week, we learned about applications like Slack for quick communication and Google Drive for collaborative files. Week 2. Fake news. Reliable sources aren't always .edu. A blog post from a reputable person in the field is just as fine. Week 3. The law. Don't steal stuff. That's not the Christmas weed spirit. There are laws in place to protect your work from being plagiarized and many pre-made licenses out there that you can use to protect your work. A couple of these are the Creative Commons and Apache licenses. Week 4. How web pages work. An intro to HTML and CSS. HTML is the stem of web pages, while CSS makes up the pretty petals. HTML is the bare bones, while CSS latches on to the respective HTML tag it's directed to. Week 5. Internet and FTP. You want free web hosting? Congrats! RIT has that. It's called banjo.rit.edu. Don't search that though, only upload things to Banjo. People.rit.edu is how the outside world can access Banjo. Week 6. Visual design. We don't like weeds because they aren't generally visually appealing. Flowers, on the other hand, have a purpose, a nice color, and a sound design made by nature. Flowers make fantastic web pages. Weeds do not. Typography. Impatiens drive me crazy. Why? I've seen an impatient in every garden I've ever been to. Yes, they look nice, but they're so overused. The key to good typography is to use a web-safe font or to make sure the flower can grow in any weather, and to stop using impatiens such as Comic Sans and Papyrus. Week 8. Style tiles. Sometimes Walmart sells multiple flower pots in a configuration, and all you need to do is put flowers in it to make it look nice. In class, we edited the CSS of style tiles in order to find ways to make it look nice. Week 9. Web layout. Flower pots. Crops and rows. So nice, much like the CSS box model. Basically, if it fits in a box, there's a way to make it work. Week 11. Animation. Flowers aren't the best example of animation principles. They stay pretty still. However, have you ever been immersed in a game with insane graphics, then all of a sudden something just looks off? This is due to the uncanny valley. The realer something looks, the easier it is to ruin the immersion with any detail out of place. It's much easier to distance ourselves from realism because the audience no longer has the expectations of hyper-realistic graphics. Week 12. Digital audio. DNA, the codex of nature. Imagine unraveling the whole helix. That's how big uncompressed audio files are. Huge. Week 13. Presentation skills. When giving a presentation, it's important to keep calm. Breathe in, breathe out. Don't get lost in the weeds. Storytelling is a fantastic way to present information. Nobody likes to read. If you wanted to write paragraphs, send an email. Week 14. Digital video. Two of my favorite films growing up were Monkey Shines by William Dixon for Edison Labs and Viaje a Lune by George Méliès. I should note, I was a kind of weird kid. Anyway, film has such a rich history. With every iteration of plot, a new level of symbolism constructs itself. We went from a running horse to seeing an orange tree every time someone was killed in The Godfather. Technically, we've come so far from physical film. Today, most films use digital cameras which create digital video. If you think audio files are huge, think about everything that goes into a video. Video files are boxes that separately contain audio, video, and other types of metadata. Week 15. Social media presence. LinkedIn works like a flower from tip to deepest root. There's you, the flower, your first connections, and all the other connections that follow. What sort of impression do you want to give off from your online profiles? We all know what impressions weeds give off. Don't be a weed. Construct every online interaction like your grandmother will see it. To sum it all up, thank you for a fantastic semester. Throughout these 15 weeks, I have successfully learned how to stay on topic and not get caught in the weeds.